You are listening to Single Smart Female. This is Jen, explaining the possibilities in your love life and examining your Mantourage dating experiences. I am here to help you do life and love on your terms by tipping the scales of love permanently in your favor. So don't forget to text this episode to all of your single smart girlfriends, and let's get started. Why, hi there, my single smart females. It's your romantic fairy godmama coming to you today with one of your single smart female listener questions. Now, this listener question comes all the way from California, from Miss I love the idea of Mantourage dating, but I can't make it work, right? And she writes, "Hi Jen, I love your podcast and think you give the most solid dating advice out there. I've been Mantourage dating and it has worked so well to kill my hyper-focus habit. But there's a problem I keep running into. Many of the men I meet treat me like I have no options and toss me breadcrumbs. Yet, even when I mention something vague like dinner plans that could be interpreted as a date with someone else, they quickly disappear. Turning my attention to the men who are providing it does help, but once I do, they eventually lose interest in seeking it. What am I doing wrong?" Okay, so this is an excellent question, if I do say so, Miss. I love the idea of Mantourage dating, but I can't make it work, right? And I'm going to start with your problem that you keep running into. Most of the men I meet treat me like I have no options and toss me breadcrumbs. Couple things here. Couple of different possibilities. First, there might be something going on in your setup. We teach people to treat us well. And your approach to meeting men might have something to do with it. But there's another thing that actually could be more likely, and it is your perception of what is actually happening. So without having all the details of what's going on and what the treatment is, I'm going to lean towards the second one more so than anything here, because we as women tend to misinterpret a lot. Just because he isn't overly excited, or if he has some behaviors like he's a little wishy-washy about making plans, stuff that's kind of conducive to how people are treating each other in general these days. And we're saying that that's just him tossing us breadcrumbs. Now, is it possible he is legitimately tossing you breadcrumbs? Yes. And of course, I do want you to pay attention to the men that are treating you the way that you truly want to be treated. But it is important to make sure you're not misinterpreting things first, just because maybe he's not overly excited right at the beginning. Now, the second thing is you said that they are disappearing when you vaguely mention dinner plans or anything that can be interpreted as date with another man. And I'm going to say that's probably not what's happening. And there's a couple of things, and this one's might sting a little bit, but a lot of times if men fall off, there's a variety of reasons. I don't tend to focus on the reasons in Mantourage dating because I really want to focus on your experience. But one of the main reasons is that they're not having a great time with you when they do go out with you. And yeah, I know that stings and to hear as a woman, but that's why instead of focusing on whether or not they're having a great time, it's really important to bring your good time to the table, which is why I've talked about in several episodes how, what kind of dates are you actually going on? What kind of things are you doing? Are you just kind of agreeing to whatever they say that they want to do? Well, that isn't actually going to make you memorable to a man. And if you're not truly having a good time, there's no way in hell he's having a good time. And I need you to reconsider actually what is going on in those dates that he might be pulling away from. I can guarantee you if there's not a whole bunch of interest in the first place, he couldn't care at this point whether or not you're dating somebody else. His ego is not that sensitive. We want to make men into, they're so ego sensitive that we have to contort ourselves and fit into this certain box in order for them to have any long-term interest in us. And no, when they're genuinely interested in you, no, you're not going to push them away unless there's something actually wrong going on upstairs. You're not going to push them away, which then it becomes protection, but you're not going to push them away just because you have options. Now, we do know in Mantourage dating, we don't sit there and go, "Hey, I just want you to know I'm dating all of these men," because we're not trying to trigger their jealousy reaction by any means. We are genuinely learning to have a good time with men and explore our different options as women. Now, so again, I want you to consider, are you even having a good time? Because if you're not having a good time, he's definitely not having a good time. And that's why there's not being connection made. And that's why there's not repeat dates happening. Okay. Now, the next thing. So we're going to move on to the part where it says, when I do pay attention to someone. So in fact, you said turning my attention to the men who are providing it, it does help. It helps you with your hyperfocus. Of course it does. It's a really great strategy. But once I do, they eventually lose interest in seeking it. Okay. So this is a narrative that we have as women that we're told, and I know you've gotten part of that from me, and it's only part of the dynamic. It's not the entire dynamic, but we're told that there has to be some kind of chase, that he needs to be able to pursue you in order to be interested in you. And we say those things because of the fact, well, I say those things only because most women will, in this day and age, especially smart, successful women, they'll do all of the pursuing. They'll do all of the contacting. They'll do all of the arranging. They'll do all of everything. And they leave no space for him to be a man. And men fall in love by the action of doing things. And if he never gets that opportunity for you because you are basically mommying him to death by taking care of everything and doing all the doing, then there's no space for that. But that does not mean if there's no chase that there's no ongoing interest. Okay? Ongoing interest goes back to the quality of time you're spending together, how much fun you have together, how much connection you have together. And eventually, he gets to see your strong side, and then he gets to see your vulnerability. And I'm not talking about the, oh my God, I'm dying vulnerability where you're just hot mess throwing shit at him emotionally. No, I'm talking about, where you get to be the softer side of you, and all of that mixes together, and he gets to see that over time. And there's a space in your life that you're creating without sacrificing who you are, but you're creating for him to be a man and to be there for you and to do all the things for you. And then you get this beautiful reciprocation with each other of how you show up for each other. And but most of all, if you want a long-term connection, you have to have fun together. And I think women are really missing that. We go into it and we try to portray that we're this super sexy, super put together, we're super this, or we get some shit ass ideas of what men want and what men think. And so we try to portray that piece of them. Or even when we go into a first date, going back to that, having fun and spending time together, we're not actually showing up as the fun version of us. Like, what do we find fun? We try to make it about what we think he might find fun. And we're neglecting huge pieces of ourselves. Mantourage dating is not about neglecting those pieces of ourselves. And it's not about buying into those stupid narratives of, if there's no chase, there is no ongoing interest. I mean, there's a ton. In fact, I probably should do an episode at some point of about all the stupid narratives there are out there. I've done about things about myths and things like that, but there's a lot of stuff that we're perpetuating as a society because it's great for storytelling that really sucks for your love life and really sucks for giving yourself the opportunity to open up and experience all the things and all the feels and not put it into this box and categorize it and then eliminate it. So I see some patterns that you have here, and it's going to be your job. It's not his. It's not his to fix, but it's going to be your job to unravel all these different patterns that you have going on here and see what they're about for you. It's nobody else's job. If you take responsibility for your love life, then guess what? You're going to have an amazing love life. And you've already taken steps towards that by experimenting with Mantourage dating. Now, I'm going to suggest that you go through and listen to everything I said, make some points, see the patterns in it, and then think about what you can do in order to start to unravel those patterns. Now, if you want help with it, go to mantouragedating.com, and I'll give you a free 3-day class to start addressing some of the strategy around those patterns and the strategy around Mantourage dating. Because there are different pieces that are going to help unlock everything that you need to make this experience wonderful. But don't buy into the notion that just because you're seeing this, that this is definitely, don't lock into this reality. It's not a reality that you have to partake in, but I will tell you there's another reality that you can create for yourself that is absolutely magical if you're willing to address these pieces. Okay, lover girl, it's time for the final thought on today's show. Your outcome with Mantourage dating is exclusively dependent on the narratives you choose to believe and the actions you continue to take that will repeatedly confirm these narratives. So choose wisely. Hey, lover girl, don't forget to subscribe to the show in your favorite podcast app, as well as share this episode with all of your single smart girlfriends. And if you're still confused about all the pieces of Mantourage dating that you were probably forgetting, then head over to Jen Burton, that's JENNBURTON.com/secret society to learn everything Mantourage dating includes. Remember, Mantourage dating is not casual dating. It's not a rotation nor a cycle, and it is woman specific. Mantourage dating and becoming an adored woman is a lifestyle dating system that addresses you as a whole woman, including your success and ambition. It simultaneously serves as the best relationship training that exists. Meet me at jenburton.com/secret society. Again, that's Jen, JENNBURTON.com/secret society for a free video explaining all the pieces you need to include in your experience.